What's going on, everybody? I wanted to go over something that I actually saw on Reddit pertaining to the Immortals and whether or not I think that Blizzard has designed a poor system when it comes to the Shadows and the Immortals, or if this is working as intended and they're not going to change a single thing. That being said, I'm going to hop over to the Reddit post here. And basically, this Reddit post is pretty funny. It came out yesterday or so, and we have a situation where if you are Immortals, you have a main Immortal, the Immortal, and then you have a few lieutenants, 4 lieutenants specifically of your main clan, and then you bring along 2 additional clans when you become Immortals. Now, the problem here is that at the end of the day, the Immortal has ultimate power when it comes to all this stuff. So as the Immortals, you're going to be defending the vault, protecting everything that pertains to the vault. So that's going to be gold, hilts, items. And at the end of each week, you get a payout according to how well you've defended the vaults. And as your Immortal reigns ends, you get that massive, massive payout in the end. Now, usually this is divided amongst your clan members. And if you are just running the game as normal, you'll go ahead and basically share that across 300 players, assuming your clan is pretty active. Now, what happened was, according to this Reddit post, we had these guys who apparently were, felt insulted or whatever and kicked every single member of their clan out of the clan except for one other. And they ended up splitting the gigantic pot here. You could see on the right-hand side, they got the weekly rewards, 55 million gold and 320k hilts. It looks like, and that was split amongst both. It looks like I'm not sure if they each got this or if, they totally split that between the two of them. So each one of them got 25 million gold and 160k hilts. It is a little insane, though, if you all stack that up onto one person. So as you can see here with this sort of Reddit story that popped up with everyone getting kicked out of the Immortals, it brings along the question, should Blizzard safeguard the Immortals? Should they change the way the system works? Because at the end of the day, there's not really any safeguard to protect regular casual players from the wrath of their tyrannical clan leaders and things like that. So it's a little bit of an interesting story because we over here in Aftershock have a personal experience with the sort of politicking as well as the clan backstabbing type thing. So right now we have Covenant as the Immortals and Unpredictable as the leader of Covenant. And they are and have been Immortals for quite a while. Let me see if I can click on this Wall of Honor, wherever it is. There we go. And they actually ended up teaming with couple of other clans in the Rite of Exile and ended up 6v3ing us in the end to secure their victory. Now, this is obviously the strategic way to go about it. There are resources in the clan, and you could absolutely take advantage of teaming with players in the free-for-all, because although it is a free-for-all, there's no rules or regulations kind of preventing you from teaming up with other clans or not attacking certain people in order to win. And so that's what they ended up doing. They teamed up and they ended up bringing in along one of the clans that they teamed up with into the Immortals. So they both benefited. Now, they could do the exact same thing, Unpredictable here if he wanted to. He got to kick out all of his lieutenants, all of his members, and then basically go ahead and take all of the rewards from the vault for that week, which is absolutely absurd. So the question here is, should Blizzard do something about this? Like, should they go and, okay, we're not going to allow people to team up. We're not going to allow people to kick a bunch of members, something like that. And in my opinion, they should not. And maybe this is a particular hot take, but in this game, I guess let me caveat by saying my point would only be based on what I think Blizzard's strategy was in determining this game mode. So what they wanted from this game mode was a sort of Game of Thrones type scenario where people are backstabbing each other's people, own clan members or allied clan members. Hey, I'm going to promise you Immortal if you team up with me in the Rite of Exile, which happens on Sunday. And, boom, they team up. And then oh, just kidding, I'm going to take someone else as the Immortals and not your clan. All that type of politicking and all the clan kind of talks and all that stuff really is what Blizzard's after, which is a little interesting. It's very different from the standard MMO practices that you'll see in other games. Usually people, okay, here's a war. There's no like hidden teaming up or anything. This is definitely like, as far as I've seen, EVE Online type of stuff with the Rite of Exile and all of the Immortals and all that stuff going on. So I don't think that they should change anything if that's their goal. However, would it be a little bit more fun if, we had a little bit more control over everything? You could say perhaps. It's kind of interesting because I think that this game in general promotes a casual player base. I don't think that the Rite of Exile or the Immortals in general is a casual game mode. So that is definitely like the top 0.001% of the server are going to be the Immortals, and oftentimes it's only going to be the competition between a few clans. But what's interesting about this is the game kind of promotes the idea that even if you are the absolute strongest clan on the server, you will never ever be able to dominate the server unless you were to go really, really deep in all these different strategies. Because if we check the Shadows clan right here, you could see that we are getting a damage boost from the Reckoning, or if once we finish the Reckoning, and then we will continue onwards into assuming Reckoning 2, Reckoning 3, and increasing our damage done and damage taken decrease in the Rite of Exile and Challenge of the Immortal. So no matter how strong, if we just look at John Souls, who's a part of Covenant here on the leaderboards, he's an absolute massive whale. He's the only person on the server with tier 3 wings with 5k resonance. He's the only one on our server. And so even though that is the case, and he's got 30k more life and like 4k more damage than I do, if I just check here, and I have spent a decent amount as well, I will eventually be able to beat him in the challenges. However, you also don't even need to beat that many Battlegrounds matches to access the Challenge of the Immortal, because it eventually will decrease the amount of wins you need down to, end of the day, presumably 1 win in the 10 Battlegrounds matches that you have to do in order to go to the Challenge of the Immortal. Now, this is interesting because eventually they are going to lose Immortal, but there's so many different things that you could do to keep Immortal. For example, you could swap clans, and after you've lost Immortal, or even before you lose Immortal, you could kick everyone out of the clan, have Unpredictable, get all the rewards, funnel it all into one person, and then, or John Souls or whoever they want, and then have all their members join different clans, and then go into the Rite of Exile with all different clans, clan names, but with the same players. So in essence, the same people are becoming Immortals over and over and over again. And there's no system in place that I know of in the game that will prevent this system. So it's definitely a little scary for a lot of players out there. And it's definitely worrying for specifically any server that has some massive whales. On our server, it's pretty much all Covenant here. We got John Souls with 5k resonance. We have Soul, who's also part of Covenant. If we just check here, this guy's got 2800 resonance. We have a Jimbo, who's, I believe, got 3k resonance. Yeah, he's got the tier 3 rings, 3.2k resonance. CV is also part of Covenant. He's got 3.6k resonance. We have Gosu, also part of Covenant. And this guy's got 2,500 resonance. You can just see across the board, there's all the whales funneled into one clan pretty much on this server. There's a few outside of Covenant that are whales as well. But by concentrating all your power into one clan and then being able to move them around is very dangerous for at least variety in the server. Now, you may not care about becoming immortal. You just want to participate in the game mode, and that's completely fine. But I do think that there's real danger, especially with the system in place, that the same people can continuously become immortals over and over again. And honestly, the game kind of encourages it. So I'm not sure what should be done, or if anything should be done. I will say that I'm generally more in favor of people just kind of sticking with their clan and having one really, really strong clan, and maybe working with a few other clans transparently. I'm not a huge fan of the backstabbing and all that stuff in the systems, and I would love to see some sort of something change so that either more people could participate in the Immortal system, or Blizzard would modify it so that basically you don't have situations like that Reddit post where someone's taken away, 55 million gold and 320k hilts, which is absolutely absurd. Let me know what you all think in the comments down below. I know most of you will not be participating within the Immortals because it is such a high-tiered game mode, but I know many of you would have opinions on it and whether or not you think that it is a good system or what should be done to change it. Curious of what you all think about it. It's definitely a stressful experience if you are in the Shadow clans competing for the top, because you never know what's going to happen to you when you have all these clans running around. So there you have it. Hope you enjoyed. Pretty funny about that post, honestly. I respect that guy for having the audacity to do such a thing, but hopefully it doesn't happen to anyone in the future. And I will see you for the next video.